Hi everyone, it's Anna from Minute Pilates and welcome to Module 4 of the Pillars of Pilates program, where we talk through and go through a routine, a Pilates routine. So bear in mind these are beginner level exercises, but if you are uncomfortable doing any of the exercises, if they don't feel right for you and your body, please don't do them. Also, if you have been told to avoid certain movements that are included in the exercises, please refrain from doing them as well. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. So to start with, we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up, and we're going to start that in a standing position. So we have our feet hip distance apart, our knees hip distance apart. The knees are soft, our length through the spine, a little bit of a downward tilt to the tailbone so that your ribs and hips are connected. You feel a connection in the rib and hips. Relax those shoulder blades down the back, length through the back of the neck, crown of the head floating up towards the ceiling. And we're going to do some neck rolls here. So I'm just turning my head to the right. I'm not forcing it, just a gentle rotation in the neck, bringing it back to the center, and same on the opposite side. And I'm just going to do 2 more to each side. You can do as many as you like, of course. And the idea here is that we don't force the movement, we just pay attention to what we feel in our necks and work in our own range. One last one to make myself even, and I'm coming back to the center. And we're going to go on to side bends, which I'm going to back up for so you can get a better view. We're going to take the legs a little bit wider for a side bend so we have a nice bigger base of support. I would say about shoulder distance apart for the legs, but everything else remains the same in terms of your alignment. And we're going to take the right arm and float it up towards the ceiling, letting the palm face inwards. Once here, you're leading with your head to bend to the side, using those tummy muscles to help restack that spine, and then bring the arm down. Same on the left arm floats up, palm faces in, relax at the shoulder, leading with your head to bend to the side. You're keeping that pelvis stable, there's no movement in the lower half of your body. So the best thing to do with the side bend is imagine you've got a beach ball stuck to your waist. So once you've brought that arm up, you're leading with your head and bending over that beach ball. Again, that pelvis isn't moving, it's all movement in the spine. The tummy muscles help bring it back up and then just float the arm down. I'm going to do 1 more to each side once I finish this one, so I'm even, and I've got a nice side bend to each side. And what we're looking at is relaxed shoulder and stretching up the side of the ribs, building it back up. Lovely sequential movement with the shoulder and arm working first, and then the spine coming into that bend. And reversing that movement to come up with the spine and lower the arm. And that's the side bend. We're going to continue to warm up the spine now with the waist twist. And for this, particularly at beginner's level, I like to take the arms across the chest. There are other ways of doing it, but for now we're going to do it this way. Shoulders stay relaxed, and it's all about rotation in your spine. So you're going to take the gaze and bring it to your right side and let your spine follow. Again, the lower half of you is staying stable, so no hip movement, no leg movement. Bring the spine back to the center, bring the gaze back forwards. Same going to the left, turning the head to the left first, rotating your spine, and then you are bringing that spine back to the center and taking your gaze forwards again. We're going to do 2 more to each side. I want you to be mindful, as I said before, of the pelvis not moving, so the hips stay forward facing. But the other thing to be mindful of is your shoulders. So what tends to happen in a waist twist is we push forward with that shoulder that's in the front of our body. I want you to try and keep it down and relax. So you're really isolating that spine to move in rotation. 1 more to be even. And we're going to finish our warm-up as we come back with our roll down, so arms down by our sides. It's a bigger movement. We start with that chin nodding, and now it's a fully flexed spine we're looking for. The arms just hang, you're bending through the spine bone by bone, scooping up those tummy muscles, keeping the knees soft. If you must bend the knees, you can. And that will help take some of the strain off your hamstrings. And just one more here, chin nod and bending through that spine. Vertebrae by vertebrae, keeping the weight over the front of your feet, and then restacking your spine. Pelvis first, and then the spine, lift the chest, shoulders, and head. And that's your warm-up. We're going to move down to the mat now into relaxation position and continue with some spinal mobilization work. And we're going to come down. So relaxation position, we want the knees bent. Head is going to be down on the mat. If you're using a cushion or a folded up towel, if you don't have a cushion available, it's about 1 inch high, maybe a little higher depending on your head and neck placement. Feet are hip distance apart, knees are bent. You're on your pelvis and that's heavy on that mat. Your arms down by your side, shoulders relaxed, the head is heavy on the cushion or mat, and your lower ribs are down. We're going to start with some spine curls. So spine curls is a total mobilization of your spine and hips. And the movement starts with your lower abdominals, taking your pubic bone and pulling them up towards your belly button. You flatten the back into the mat and then you start to peel the spine off the mat, bone by bone, coming up to the lower tips of your shoulder blades. You're watching that chin doesn't duck down towards your chest and you return the spine back down, bone by bone, and getting the pelvis back on the mat. You're starting it again, that pelvic tilt, imprinting the lower spine on the mat, peeling the spine off the mat, up to the lower tips of the shoulders, shoulder blades really, and then melting the spine back down. So it's a lovely exercise. You're really getting a lot of spinal movement, but what you're also getting is opening at the front of your hips and learning that spinal articulation that's so important for flowing movement and spinal comfort. So we're now going to continue on the theme of moving and mobilizing our spine with some hip rolls. We're gluing our legs together for the hip rolls, and I'm actually going to take my arms a little bit wider. That gives me a bigger base of support, helps me relax the shoulders, the palms are facing up. And I'm going to take the pelvis and legs and rotate them out to the right first. The left foot and left bum cheek will lift off the mat, but the shoulders stay down on the mat. They're not moving. Using your tummy muscles, you're going to bring everything back to the center and do the same on the opposite side, taking the legs and pelvis out to the left this time. Staying relaxed in the shoulders. It's quite common for us to start gripping in the back of our shoulders and tensing in that area. I'm going to do 2 more to each side. And it's a lot of work happening in the tummy muscle. So we don't just want the legs to swing from side to side. Your abdominals gently engage to help control how far you take those legs. You still want the shoulder blades to stay on the mat and bring them back. One last one to even ourselves up. And then taking the feet a distance apart. It's time for some fun with abdominal work. So we're going to take the cushion away. Our hands are going to clasp together and come behind the head, taking the place of the cushion. Elbows wide. We're going to do straightforward beginner level curl-ups. The curl-up is all about your spine mobilizing and flexion, and your abdominals help this to happen. So we start with a lengthening of the back of our neck as the chin nods, and then we're curling up through the spine. Your abdominals are switching on to bring your ribs and hips closer together, and then you're lowering back down. So it's a spinal exercise, but of course to get the spine to move that way, your abdominals have to work. Win-win, really, spine and abs. Last one, keeping that space between the chin and the chest so you're not pressing down into your chest with that chin. And now we're going to move on to oblique curl-up. So of course you can do more of these at your own pace and at your own time, but oblique curl-ups, you're coming into that chin nod, curling up just as we did in a regular curl-up. But now you're going to take your left armpit, lift and rotate the spine towards the right. Come back to the center, lower back down. Same again, regular curl-up to start. And lift and rotate to the left, right armpit to the left side. Come back to the center. Things to watch out for in an oblique curl-up is movement in your pelvis. We want to keep that stable, so we don't want to be rocking furiously side to side. We also want to keep the elbows wide. It is not an exercise in pushing your elbow towards the opposite side. It is all about the spine. Moving on to a slightly more advanced abdominal exercise, it's single leg stretch, and we have options. So option 1 is single leg stretch, double knee fold, and our head is down on the mat, hands just on the knees. So we can do a single leg stretch without coming into a curl up. So you're managing the weight of the legs, and your abdominals will work in stabilizing your spine. Or you can come into a single leg stretch with a curl up. So your chin nods and curl up, working a little bit harder through your neck muscles without the support of your hands. Send one leg away and the other leg comes in towards your chest and crisscross the mat. The lower you send those legs, the more challenging for the abdominals. And then you pause, head comes down first, bring one leg down at a time. And that's your little abdominal sequence. We are now going to move on to some leg and hip work. So I'm going to lie on my right side for this. Of course, if you're doing this at home, please make sure to work both legs. In a class, we would normally do 8 to 10 reps if we are doing a couple of these leg exercises. Sometimes we do a few more, but at home I would suggest sticking to 8 to 10 reps. So, lying on my side, I'm lengthening my arm underneath my head, and I'm placing cushions. I need enough cushions so that my head and neck are in good alignment with my spine. If your shoulders aren't happy in this position, you can get a few more cushions or thicker cushions or a block and a couple of cushions and have them just underneath your head with the arm lengthened out in front of you. My knees are bent with my feet just in line with my bottom, because we are going to start with oysters. In oysters, we are mobilizing the hip in external rotation, so we want to have the hips stacked over each other, nice lengthened waist on both sides. If that's happening, you're using a teeny bit of abdominal muscles to keep you up there, and you are not sinking into the mat. Shoulder relaxed at the top bit of your body, and we're going to start our oysters. Heels connected, little V shape with your feet, and you're opening that leg. Watch as you bring that knee up towards the ceiling, that the heels stay connected and your pelvis doesn't move. And close the oyster again. Open and closing that oyster again. One last one, just to make sure you got that. And we're going to move to legs in a chair position. So the side lying leg series should be done continuously, but if you are completely new to this, you might want to take some breaks in between. So we're going to start, legs are in a chair position, so hips and knees bent at about 90 degrees. We're going to take that top leg and lengthen it away. We're going to start with the foot flexed, so that means the heel is pointing away, and I really want you to keep feeling like the leg is lengthening away. So keep that sense of lengthening and stretching that leg out. Knee stays straight, and you're going to lift just above the hip and lower. So it's not about how high you take the leg. You want to take it high enough that you're not letting yourself lose that neutral spine and sinking the waist into the mat. Once you've done about 8 to 10 of these lifting and lowering, we're going to go forwards and back. So to go forwards and back, you're keeping your foot flexed with the heel pointing away. You're coming forwards about 45 degrees, and then you're softly pointing the foot to take the leg back. Flex the foot to come forwards, point to come back. And you're staying at hip height, extending at the hip, and then flexing as you come forward. So mimicking a massive, big step when you are walking. The last of these, you're coming back to being in line with your spine. Make sure you're at hip height, and we're going to have the foot pointed this time. Keep lengthening through that leg for circles. The circles should be about the size of a football. They could be bigger. If they need to be smaller, that's fine, but on average about the size of a football, and you're looking to get the leg just above the hip, out in front, below the hip and behind. You would do 8 to 10 circles on one side and then reverse. And that's it for legs for this segment. We're now going to move on to some thoracic spine extension. So that's the area behind your rib cage, which tends to get a little bit stiff, particularly if we are office-based and working from home and in furniture that maybe isn't the most adaptable to help with good posture. So we're going to do this lying on our tummy because that's a nice, safe, supported way to get your spine to extend. And we're going to do 3 exercises here. We're going to start with Cobra Prep. So the hands are going to be at about eye level. Your forehead is resting on the mat. So you're in basically a W shape with your upper body. The legs are a little bit wider. I'm lifting my head so you can see me, so you can hear me better. The legs are a little bit wider with the heels flopping inwards. And your forehead, when you're ready, is resting on the mat. Lightly supported with the forearms. You're going to start sliding that nose away, taking the gaze to the edge of your mat and lifting to the elbows. So your lower ribs are still in contact with your mat. And come back down. So this is just a little warm-up. You're supported by your arms still. You're not coming up into a full cobra. You're just getting used to that movement. It's a nice little warm-up before we go into a bigger spinal movement. And for some people, this is the best they can do in a cobra. They have spinal issues and this is what they should stick with, and that's absolutely fine. If you are willing and have the ability and no injuries that would mean that you cannot do a full cobra, then you can happily go into one. You're sliding the nose forwards, taking your gaze forwards, and in a full cobra, you're reeling yourself off the mat. The arms are now supporting you, you're taking the gaze forwards. You're extended at the hips, you're extended fully in your spine, your shoulders are relaxed. And then you come back down, hips first, elbows bending, wheeling the spine back down, nose and forehead. So it's a much bigger movement than a Cobra Prep. And again, lower spinal issues, you want to be mindful of doing Cobra, a full Cobra. It may not be for you, or you may need to do a little bit more work before you're able to. Another lovely exercise for thoracic spine extension is diamond press. And for diamond press, we're going to bring our fingertips to touching. You can leave the feet a little bit wider, the legs a little bit wider with the heels flopping inwards. Forehead's going to rest on the back of your hands. Make sure those shoulders are relaxed. And you're going to start nudging your nose forward, just stopping at the tip of your nose. And from here, you're just going to lift the chest. Shoulders stay down, and your neck and head are not moving very far at all. So you're lowering back down, redrawing that line with your nose. The head movement is proportional to the movement in your upper or thoracic spine. So you're not taking the gaze forward for this. It's very much focused on the back of the ribs. So it's a much smaller movement. I like to think of it as the reverse of a curl-up. And those are some examples of some spinal extension work that you can do. So we're now going to come onto all fours or 4-point kneeling, and this is a great position. It can be a tiring position for some if we're not used to working on all fours, but it is a great position for building up that upper body strength, building up the strength in our wrists, and learning how to find a nice neutral spine without the feedback from the floor. So onto hands and knees, we want the hands just underneath the shoulders, the knees just underneath the hips. The elbows are soft, which means the insides of the elbows are looking at each other. The shoulders are relaxed and away from your ears. The neck is long, and you're not dropping the head down to look at your knees or looking forwards, unless of course you're watching. And you've got a little bit of bum sticking out, so we want that neutral spine. We're going to start with tabletop, and we're going to stick to tabletops usually stage 1. So for tabletop stage 1, the objective is all about stability in your spine and pelvis while mobilizing your hip. So we're going to start the exercise by sliding that left foot away. So to do that, you're opening up the front of the hip, opening up the knee. You're keeping the foot in contact with the floor until you're fully extended. And then you're going to lift that leg, watching that you're not lifting too high so you don't rotate the pelvis, and watching that you Lower that leg and slide it back. Same on the opposite side, lengthening that right leg and lifting. Lower and come back. If you lift the leg too high, you may rotate the pelvis or dip in that spine, so you're being mindful of the range of movement. And of course, it is hard to tell on all fours if you are lifting too high. So a way of doing this is taking, if you've got a tennis ball, I'm just going to grab one of these here. If you've got a tennis ball or any kind of smaller ball, a child's ball will do, you can just place it in the small of your back. I mean, the overballs are better because they're slightly mushy, so it kind of helps keep that ball there. And you're going to come into your tabletop here. If you feel the ball rolling, yes, you're moving your pelvis and it's fine. The next one we are going to do is a cat. So we're going to do a flexed cat only. It's more suitable for beginners because you're gaining control of your spine and an awareness of where you are on all fours. So again, you're in that lovely neutral position and we're coming into a lovely C shape with our spine. So we start that movement with the pelvic tilt, tucking that pelvis underneath you, flexing through your lumbar spine, flex through the back of the ribs and flex the neck. Shoulders stay away from your ears. And then you release head and tailbone at the same time, coming back to your neutral start position. The pelvis moves first as you flex through the spine, coming into that lovely C curve with your spine, and then you're releasing. Pelvic tilt, flexing through, let the shoulders just respond to the movement, and release. And that's some nice beginner level work to get you used to being on all fours. Right, so we've come to the end of the class and the closing bit of the class, which tends to be a little bit stretchy, a little bit just tying a few elements together. And we're going to have the feet hip distance apart and come back up to standing. So again, remember, just like at the beginning of the class, we're looking for knees soft, gentle connection of the ribs and the hips, relaxed shoulders, and we're just going to do a few arm circles here just to get those shoulders moving. So bring the arms up and overhead and out to the sides. A couple more like this, just really getting those shoulders moving. And of course, if you have shoulder issues and your movements have to be smaller, please make them smaller. Just balancing that out by taking them up to the sides and up and down again. So you're just reversing that movement. And one last one, so we're even. And then just working a teeny bit on our balance, keeping the feet hip distance apart. We're going to do some heel raises. Of course, that's quite good also for strengthening your ankles and your calves and helping to mobilize those ankles as well. So we're going to start by taking the weight just over to the balls of the feet. Engage a teeny bit through your tummy muscles. That will just help you focus and stabilize through your spine. And then lift off onto the balls of the feet. Heels are lifted and you're lowering back down with control. And we'll do that again. Weight come forwards, a little bit of connection through the tummy and lifting onto the balls of the feet. Important to note, not your tippy toes. So we are looking for you to come up onto the balls of the feet rather than way up onto the tippy toes. Come back down and we're going to end with our roll downs, just like we did at the beginning of the class. It's a lovely way to end the class because you can see how much your spine has mobilized through doing the class. So we're going to do that now. Little chin nod, just like we did before, and flexing through the back of that neck. Be mindful of keeping the chin nod as you keep flexing through the spine. Arms just hanging, weight staying over the front of your feet. Again, if you need to bend those knees, go ahead, but you may not need to after class. And then you're coming up, restacking the spine, taking the chest up, shoulders, and then the head. One more time, little chin up, flexing through bone by bone. Let those arms just hang. Bend at the hips. And you're going to come back up, opening the front of those hips, taking the pelvis back down and restacking the spine. Lifting the head at the very end. And that's the class. Well, that's it. So thank you for joining us on Module 4, and I hope you enjoyed the Pilates routine. the next part, the end module of Pillars of Pilates, is joining an actual online class where you can get to practice and put your newfound skills to the test. Hope to see you soon.